You just got a Quest 3 or 3S, or you're looking to get one, and you're wondering, well, what can I do with this thing? Well, here's everything I love doing with my Quest that maybe you're gonna love doing as well.
Now, gaming, of course, is the main use case for a device like this, but I want to go further than gaming because that's not the only thing I do with my Quest. There's just so much more you can do with virtual reality, and the first thing I want to talk about is watching content. Now, wearing a headset is definitely not as comfortable as just watching on a typical TV or monitor, but there are two scenarios where I actually prefer using a VR headset for this type of usage. Watching something with a friend, and watching while away from home. You know, sometimes you just want to watch something with your friend, but you're not together in real life. I find that doing it via screen share on Discord or FaceTime doesn't really convey that physical presence and connection you'd normally get. Virtual reality just does it way better, and it's much cooler since you can be in the same virtual environment, whether it's a cinema or a luxurious apartment. The other scenario where I'd want to use my headset for this is when I'm not at home, and this not only goes for watching content, but also gaming to an extent. Now, by being outside, I don't actually mean being outside wandering in the wild with my VR headset, but more like when I'm in the car or a plane during a trip, or if I'm staying somewhere else. For example, a couple of months ago, I decided to bring my Quest for a 4-hour flight. After takeoff, I put on my headset and launched Tetris Effect, and I was just stunned for a moment. I totally got immersed in the game and I forgot my legs were being crushed by the seat in front. It just amazed me. This experience alone convinced me that this is the future of technology. Now, if you want to try this, I recommend putting travel mode on your Quest before you get into a car, a train, or whatever, because if you don't, the UI will just go flying through your face because of the tracking being confused. Trust me, it's not a nice experience. But even if I were not talking about transportation, bringing a Quest is just easier than carrying a TV or monitor with you, and I honestly prefer watching things on my Quest than on an iPad or a laptop screen. Now, that does depend on the headset you have, but on Quest 3 with the pancake lenses, I believe it's good enough that I can watch a full movie no problem. That is if the battery doesn't die in the middle of the movie. This brings me to another thing that I love to try out but not necessarily do on a regular basis, and that is using the Quest for productivity as virtual monitors. The idea is amazing, being able to bring a triple monitor setup anywhere you go with a laptop. The thing is, the execution is pretty bad on Quest, especially compared to Apple's integration with Vision Pro and macOS. They just added a way to look at your Windows PC to let it connect automatically with virtual monitors, and it works surprisingly great. But it only works when you're on a Wi-Fi connection, so it's basically useless on the go, and if I'm not, I'd just rather use my actual monitors at home. It's a really cool thing to try out, and it makes you see the potential headsets like these have to be useful for more than entertainment, but the execution in terms of software is just not there yet. I encourage you to try it out though. I found it really helpful for focusing on your work because of the isolation you get from the virtual environments. It's just that the current implementation is too limiting and buggy to actually be productive, and the screen resolution is not the best either. Now, changing subject, working out is actually a very good use case for the Quest. If you want to do a cardio workout, games like Beat Saber on Expert or Expert Plus, and especially Thrill of the Fight, are games that will make you sweat a lot. Now, you gotta really invest yourself in the game for this to be an actual workout, but once you do, it really is great. It's the first time gaming actually becomes a real physically intensive activity, unlike the Wii with Wii Sports or Xbox Kinect. Just be careful not to push yourself too hard and break your arms or wrists swinging midair on a virtual cube. Something I also love doing with VR is just tinkering with the technology. What's fun about Meta headsets is that they keep updating with new features like hand tracking and upper body tracking. You can also tip your toes into modding and add custom songs to games like Beat Saber. You can also try out Game Quest Optimizer to experience games in much higher resolution than what the Quest defaults at. There's just a lot of stuff to try out that are just cool things to do if you like to tinker with technology. There's even the game engine Godot that was released on Quest, which lets you try and develop your own games on the Quest itself without a PC required. You just need a keyboard and a mouse. Finally, we're talking about PC VR, which is when you plug your headset in a powerful gaming PC so that the games are rendered using the computer itself, and then sent to the headset instead of the headset doing all the work by itself. I have such a love and hate relationship with PC VR because on one hand, having that raw processing power enables you to experience so much more than what the Quest can offer by itself. You can have much better visual fidelity and just more possibilities overall with that much more power. The thing is, it's so frustrating to use. You always have issues that prevent you from actually experiencing whatever you're trying to do. It's so user unfriendly that it makes you question if it's all worth it. But once it works, it's really cool. Half-Life Alyx, even if it's not my type of game, is an amazing experience. The visual fidelity is on a whole other level compared to Quest games. What I also love doing is playing racing sims like BeamNG or Assetto Corsa. It brings a whole new dimension to racing games. You get to be in the cockpit and look side by side, and I just love the feeling it gives. Now, if you've got a PC that's powerful enough, you should definitely try out PCVR. But beware that getting the right setup is really hard, especially if you're not familiar with this kind of stuff. Even after years of tinkering, I still find myself having issues, but what it provides is enough to forgive the downsides it brings. So that pretty much wraps everything I wanted to share with you guys. If you stuck to the end, thanks a lot. I really appreciate your time. Consider liking the video and subscribing if you love the content, and leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm really interested to see what you guys do with your quest. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.